Hey, when I was growing up, my dad had a special thing that he liked to do for us on Sundays. I'll tell you more about it at the end. I'm Teacher Tiffany. Let's jump right in. All right, today we are going to talk about the top English vocabulary words, specifically about food. Now, we're going to use this equation right here, L plus M plus F. Now, the L stands for learn the word in context by reviewing sentences. So again, the first thing we're going to do is I want to show you the words in context. You can actually see them, how they are used in real life. Now, you can do this on your own by looking at pictures and seeing different sentences that describe the pictures, or even by looking in books. Now, the next step is the letter M. Memorize the dictionary definition. So, after we see the words used in context based on images, we're going to look at the dictionary definition of each word so that we can know how to properly use it. And we're going to memorize the definition. Now, the last part of the formula is the letter F. Now, the letter F stands for find 3 synonyms or similar words for the word we're looking at, okay? Now, it's so important to find 3 synonyms because you will have triggers or connections that will help you remember each and every word. So let's get started and see what our first vocabulary word is by looking at the picture, okay? Now, our first picture is right here. Woo-wee! This looks good. Now, remember, guys, in America, we have kind of a typical breakfast. Now, it depends on where you go, of course, but pancakes are a very big part of an American breakfast. And I love pancakes. So as I look at this picture, my mouth is starting to water. Now, let's see a sentence. Let's read a sentence that describes this image, this picture of these pancakes. We have right here, the pancakes on the plate look scrumptious. Now, one more time, that word may be a little bit tricky. This is our first vocabulary word. After me, scrumptious. Very good. Remember that P sound in the middle. Scrumptious. Excellent. Now, again, for the letter M, we're going to memorize the definition. But for now, let's look at the sentence and how it uses that vocabulary word to describe the picture. The pancakes on the plate look scrumptious. All right. Now we see some blueberries as well. So here's another sentence. Those blueberries look juicy and ready to eat. So again, for pronunciation, juicy. Very good. Juicy. Excellent. Now again, look at these blueberries. It looks like you can just squeeze them and ooh, they'd be so sweet in your mouth. So once again, looking at the picture, those blueberries look juicy and ready to eat. So this is the first part of the equation, the letter L for learn. Now what we're going to do is move on to the letter M, memorize. So again, the sentence is, the pancakes on the plate look scrumptious. Now the word scrumptious means, when you're speaking about food, extremely tasty, delicious, or tasting extremely good. So growing up, I can remember my mother cooking all the time. And one of my favorite things that she made when I was very young was banana nut bread. It was so delicious. It was so tasty. It was scrumptious. You got it? Okay, so again, delicious or extremely tasty. Now let's look at some example sentences that use the word scrumptious so that you can remember, okay? Here we go. I ate a scrumptious breakfast. Very good. Next, she made a scrumptious cake. And finally, that looks like a scrumptious apple pie. Okay, so now it's making sense. Now remember, in the comment section, I want you to try to make your own sentence using the vocabulary words that you learned in today's lesson, okay? All right, so let's move on to the next vocabulary word. Remember, we had the next one, which was right here, juicy. Here's the sentence again. Those blueberries look juicy and ready to eat. So the word juicy, when speaking about food, means full of juice, succulent, full of juice or juices, and therefore enjoyable to eat. I think I've told you before that my favorite fruit is apple. All right. I love apples. My favorite fruit is an apple. I love apples and they're very juicy, right? So I love to eat apples. So why? Because they're full of juice. When you bite into an apple, sometimes you have juice on your face or it spurts out of your mouth, right? Because they're full of juice. So the blueberries looked very juicy, right? All right, now let's look at 3 other sentences that use this vocabulary word, okay? Here we go. I love to eat juicy apples. I just told you that was my favorite fruit, didn't I? All right, next, here we go. That pear looks really juicy. And finally, he likes to eat a juicy steak every night. So you see in this last sentence, we used juicy even though we weren't speaking about fruit. Think about steak. Now, you know I'm a vegetarian, but I have many friends that like to eat meat and they like steak. And when you put your fork and you're trying to cut it with a knife, you can see things oozing out of the steak. Sometimes it's oil and other things oozing out. So juicy, nice and plump. Okay? All right, great job. Now, we finished the memorize phase. Now we go into the letter F, find. We're going to, once again, look at 3 synonyms for each of the vocabulary words, okay? So the first vocabulary word, again, was scrumptious on the left side of our screen. Extremely tasty, delicious, or tasting extremely good. So the 3 synonyms, again, on the far left are delicious, mouth-watering, and tasty. Once again, delicious, mouth-watering, and tasty. So we have the main vocabulary word is scrumptious. The 3 synonyms, again, we have delicious, mouth-watering, and finally tasty. Now what I'm going to do is show you how we can replace the word scrumptious with each of these words and still have a good sentence. So here we go. Remember the original sentence we had was the pancakes on the plate look scrumptious. But now we can say, again on the left side, the pancakes on the plate look delicious, or the pancakes on the plate look mouth-watering. And finally, the pancakes on the plate look tasty. So now instead of 1 vocabulary word, you've learned 4. Now, let's move to the right side of our screen, looking at the word juicy, which again means full of juice. The juicy blueberries, juicy apples, okay? What are 3 synonyms for this word? Again, looking at the right side of your screen, here we go. Moist, ripe, and luscious. One more time. Moist, ripe, and that final one, luscious. Very good. One more time after me. Luscious. Very good. Now let's see how we can literally have the same sentence and only replace 1 word with these new words we've looked at. Okay, here we go. Those blueberries look moist and ready to eat. Those blueberries look ripe and ready to eat. And finally, those blueberries look very good, luscious, and ready to eat. So again, instead of just juicy, now we know 4 new vocabulary words. So we have a total of 8 already. Okay, excellent job. Now, let's move on to the next group of words. So let's go back. We need to go to letter L, which is learn. Woo-wee! Guys, okay. There's one other thing you have to know about me. I love salads. My friends call me the salad queen because I can make a good salad. And the salad in this picture, man, oh man, I want to eat this salad. So looking at the picture again, we have this great looking salad, okay? So now we have lettuce at the top, we have onions, we have olives, all of these things I love. So here's the sentence. I am on a special diet, so I use a lot of raw ingredients in my salads. So the key vocabulary word is raw. One more time, raw. Now, when I was a teacher in South Korea, many times my students would have kind of a hard time or difficulty using or pronouncing the letter R. Okay, so again, after me, raw. You want your tongue to kind of be on the bottom of your mouth. Raw. Excellent job. So again, the sentence, I am on a special diet, so I use a lot of raw ingredients in my salads. Okay, remember, we're going to find out the definition when we go to the next part of our formula, the letter M. Okay, so we have one more sentence here. Here we go. The salad at the restaurant looked very appetizing. One more time after me. This is a long one. Appetizing. Excellent. Last time. Appetizing. Very good. So again, remember I was talking about, just how good the salad looks. I can also say the salad at the restaurant looked, I'm going to show it to you again, very appetizing. Okay, so let's move on to the next part of our formula, the letter M. Memorize. So here's the sentence one more time, the first one. I am on a special diet, so I use a lot of raw ingredients in my salads. Now, the word raw, speaking about food, just means uncooked, not cooked, or not diluted or blended with anything. So, for example, I mentioned that I love apples. If I get an apple and immediately eat it, I'm eating a raw apple. I haven't done anything to it. It's uncooked, undiluted. I haven't done anything to it. We say it's raw, okay? So let's see 3 example sentences using this vocabulary word. Here we go. First one, that restaurant sells raw fish. So again, think about it. If you like sushi, a lot of sushi places use raw fish, very finely sliced and put on top of rice. And that is called raw fish because it's not cooked, okay? All right, so again, that restaurant sells raw fish. Next, I love eating raw food in the morning. And finally, he can't eat raw vegetables. Okay, so again, raw. Very good. All right, now our next word, again, our next vocabulary word was appetizing. Here we go. The salad at the restaurant looked very appetizing. Now, this word just means stimulating one's appetite, appealing to or stimulating the appetite. So again, remember I said, the salad looks so good. Man, I really want to eat this salad. Why? Because it's stimulating. It's making me hungry looking at the picture of the salad, right? Stimulating my appetite. Why? Because it looks appetizing. Okay, so we're going to look at 3 example sentences using this vocabulary word. Okay, so here we go. That plate of food looks appetizing. Next, this food looks so appetizing. And finally, your food looks so appetizing. Now, I want to remind you, don't worry. As you're studying, you don't have to worry about writing notes or anything because you can download the free PDF that goes along with this lesson. All you have to do is click the link in the description. Again, all of the example sentences, all of the definitions, I want to help you. So I made a free PDF. You can download it by clicking the link in the description, okay? All right, so let's keep going, learning more vocabulary words. Here we go. All right, now we're going on to the find. Remember, we're looking for 3 synonyms for each word. So we're going to start off on the left side of the screen, okay? So here we go. Raw, again, meaning uncooked or not cooked. So we have 3 synonyms: uncooked, unprocessed, and unrefined. One more time for pronunciation. Uncooked, very good. Unprocessed, good job. And finally, unrefined. Yeah, that's a tricky one, okay? So again, unrefined. Very good. It's tricky for me too. That F, you got to put your front teeth on your bottom lip. So one more time. Unrefined. There you go. Very good. All right. So again, those are the 3 synonyms for raw. So let's see how the sentence would change if we used each of these words. Here we go. I am on a special diet, so I use a lot of uncooked ingredients in my salads. Next, again, on the left side of your screen, I'm on a special diet, so I use a lot of unprocessed ingredients in my salads. And finally, I am on a special diet, so I use a lot of unrefined ingredients in my salads. Okay? All right, now moving on to the right side, we have appetizing. Again, stimulating one's appetite. Now we have 3 synonyms: inviting, tempting, and heavenly. Yeah, interesting, right? Again, inviting, tempting, and heavenly. Remember, I'm teaching you 20 of the most useful words when you're speaking about food in English, okay? So we understand appetizing, but inviting has the same meaning, like, ooh, I really want to eat that. Then tempting, ooh, maybe I shouldn't do it, but I really want to do it. And heavenly, oh man, I just can't wait to eat that salad. Okay, so let's see how the sentences change when we use these words. Here we go. First, the salad at the restaurant looked very inviting. Next, the salad at the restaurant looked very tempting. And finally, the salad at the restaurant looked very heavenly. All right, so you see how we were able to get 3 extra synonyms for each of these words, okay? Now let's continue and learn some more. We got to go back now to the first part of the formula, the letter L. So we need to see our next picture. Woo, it's time for some dessert. All right, we started off with pancakes for breakfast, then we had a salad for lunch, and now we're doing kind of the dessert phase. All right, so looking at the picture, we see this, delightful piece of cheesecake. All right, so here's the sentence. The miniature cheesecakes look so yummy on the plate. Again, for pronunciation, yummy. Very good. All right, so again, the miniature cheesecakes look so yummy on the plate. Now, what does this word actually mean? So again, the sentence, the miniature cheesecakes look so yummy on the plate. Now, the word yummy just means, when speaking about food, delicious or tasting extremely good. Remember I said my mom, she can cook really well, and she used to make really good banana nut bread. So the banana nut bread was very delicious or very yummy. Okay, so let's see 3 example sentences using this word yummy. Here we go. First, the chocolate cake was yummy. Next, that ice cream looks so yummy. And finally, these desserts look yummy. Excellent. Now, what we want to do is look at 3 different synonyms. Here we go. Delish, enticing, and flavorful. One more time, pronunciation, okay? First, delish. Again, delish. Now, this is actually kind of a slang term. It's the shortened form of delicious. Like, ooh, that looks delish. I'm just saying it looks delicious, but we use this slang term, okay? So delish. Next, enticing. Very good. Last time, enticing. Excellent. And finally, flavorful. Very good. Flavorful. Excellent. Now let's see how the sentences change when we add in these words. Okay, so here we go. Now we have the first one. The miniature cheesecakes look so delish on the plate. Next, the miniature cheesecakes look so enticing on the plate. And finally, the miniature cheesecakes look so flavorful on the plate. All right, excellent job. I really hope you enjoyed this lesson. I hope you were able to understand all of the vocabulary words, and I hope you are able to use them just like a native English speaker the next time you talk about the food you are eating. Now remember, as I told you before, you can always click the link in the description to download the free PDF. But if you want to continue studying with me and have me as your teacher, your English teacher, to help you accomplish all of your English goals, join the Speak English with Tiffani Academy now. The link is also in the description, and you can see it right here on your screen. And I will talk to you next week, but as always, remember to speak English. Still there? It's story time. Okay, all right. So remember at the beginning of the video, I told you that my dad had this really good habit that he would do something special for us on Sunday. So now during our lesson, I told you that my mom is actually a great cook. An amazing cook. So throughout my life, my mom was the one who would cook for us. When we had meals for the holidays, my mom was always the go-to. She was the one that cooked all of the meals. But on Sundays, growing up, I can remember waking up early in the morning and my nose would be greeted by an amazing smell. I mean, the kitchen smelled heavenly. The food that was being made downstairs, whew, I could not wait to get out of my bed. Now, again, I would still be in my bed, just waking up, and then suddenly I'd hear someone call my name. Tiff! Tiff! It was my dad. I said, yes, Daddy, yes. It's time to come down and eat. And I would run down the stairs and there would be fried potatoes, eggs, pancakes, grits, biscuits, veggie meat. Remember, we're vegetarian. All of it was prepared by my dad. You see, my dad loved to make big meals on Sunday mornings. So some of my greatest memories are from Sunday mornings eating the breakfast that my dad would make. So even though my mom is an excellent cook, my dad loved to do Sunday morning breakfast. And he still does them to this day. A few weeks ago, my uncles came in town and my dad made breakfast and we loved it. We sat at the table and we talked to each other and it was really nice to have family time. So I hope you also have a tradition where you and your family can get together and talk and just laugh and have a wonderful time. I hope you enjoyed this story and I'll see you next week.